Well, hello there and welcome to this vlog of our Christmas markets cruise on board P&O Cruises Iona.
We paid a total of £1,196. That worked out at £598 each, and that equated to £85 per person per night. We did, however, firstly pay a little bit more than that on P&O, and we found it cheaper on Igloo Cruises, that is. It was £52 cheaper than what we had paid. So you found a price promise on P&O's website.
Yep.
And we emailed pricepromise@p&ocruises.com, and yeah, they matched the price and they adjusted that to match that price. So we did that all on the same day. I think you have to do it fairly quick for them to be able to action it.
Yeah, I think it's 24 hours within the point of booking. You have to send an email for them to match the price.
So for this cruise, we decided to go for the early saver fare, which we don't normally do because we like to go for select, so we can choose the cabin, have a guarantee of where we're going to be. Yep. So for like the fjords, we had to know where we were because we wanted to guarantee that we were going to be on a good side, on a good level, so we'd have the views. This one, we weren't so bothered about.
We were a bit more chilled for this one.
Yeah, and there was a £400 difference, total difference that is, between the early saver fare and the select fare. So we thought, let's try and save.
And with this cruise as well, when you do either fare, you can click an option for I would like to be upgraded or I wouldn't like to be upgraded. So on the Fjords cruise we didn't do that just in case we had a deck 8 balcony, which is a promenade balcony. This one we didn't mind so much, so we were up for that or whatever we got. So yeah.
Fortunately, 3 weeks before we left, we got a cabin allocated and we actually received an upgrade to a GC grade balcony, which is the cabin we're in now, which is on deck 5 and is a partly steel fronted balcony but with some glass. It's kind of I think they call it a sheltered balcony. Yeah. So yeah, we were really pleased with that. Somewhere different where we hadn't actually been on Iona before, and a little bit of a different cabin. So we'll show you around though shortly.
Yeah. Okay, so on P&O Cruises, on their website, there is an option to be able to pre-book any activities you want to do on board the ship. However, it was kind of plagued with issues from the very start, wasn't it? So as soon as dining became available to book, you weren't able to. Same as entertainment on board, such as theatre shows and different things on board, you just weren't able to book it, even like the Limelight Club. So it was a bit of a pain. We was on Facebook groups, so we knew it wasn't just us that were having these troubles. Everyone on this Facebook group was trying to book entertainment and they weren't able to. So we were unable to book dining 2 weeks before, and it was only resolved 3 days before the actual cruise itself. So those last 3 days before the cruise, I think everyone who was on that group anyway was all going straight online trying to book in your entertainment on board, booking your Limelight Club, your Epicurean visits. So it was quite a mad panic, wasn't it, to try and book our food and entertainment on board.
Yeah, well, slight correction there. Entertainment we couldn't book at all. It just came up with the error that's on your screen now. So it said that we needed to pay, that there needed to be a card to book entertainment. Yeah. So fortunately, when we got on, we were able to get most of the entertainment book that we wanted to. But 7:10 was a different matter, as that we thought it was like our old cruise, previous cruise in August, where you queued, turned up for the 7:10 club, and you were let in based on capacity. Before, yeah. But they've actually changed it now to book online. So yeah, if you're a fan of the 7:10 club like us, make sure you book that as soon as you get on board. Else you could miss out. We haven't been able to go to the 7:10 club at all this cruise, which yeah, I'm still having a little bit of emotional distress over.
And I know by the time we actually got on board the ship, because we had a late check-in time, a lot of things had already sold out because people were being able to board from like 11 AM and we were quite late, so we missed out on quite a lot of activities because of that reason. So that was quite sad, really.
Yeah.
So again, we kind of left this bit to the last minute too, the car parking, which is always a little bit, but we went to go through the like the official route where, is it CPS, I believe it is, that P&O Cruises use, where you park your car up and someone takes it from you. However, that had sold out, so we were a bit worried that we wouldn't be able to park the car. But then you came across Green Triangle Parking, I believe it was called, and that was on Holiday Extras or My Holiday Extras, and that cost us £80 for the 7 nights, which I don't think was that bad at all, really.
No.
And it's done by ANPR recognition as well when you drive in, so you don't have to pay. It's, your number plate's recognised, you've already paid for it, so it's all sorted.
The only difference for that is that it's a slight walk from the car park to the terminal. I think it was only a few minutes. It was like 5 minutes, wasn't it?
6 minutes,
yeah. Which for us wasn't too bad. So you're not getting dropped as close as you would with the other parking options. But yeah, I would have no hesitation booking that again.
Yeah,
it was good. So on to boarding. We arrived at 3:10 for our 3 o'clock check-in time. We were checked in at the desk by 3:30, and very different to any of the cruises with P&O we've done before. Instead of actually going straight to security like we had on the previous ones, we were actually sat in sections and then called through to security. And I must say, when we were sat down, there looked like there were so many people waiting. I thought it was going to be ages, but it was actually only half an hour between sitting down and getting to our cabin. So yeah, it was quite good. It
was quite good. I think that's the thing with cruises. You walk into that terminal and there's a lot of people and you think, oh no, but it moves. It's always moving, isn't it? So yeah, it's quite efficient. And
that's where the first festive things started to happen as well. So all the check-in staff were wearing Santa hats. There's Christmas trees everywhere. They're giving out heroes, which is never a bad thing.
You didn't take one. I couldn't believe that. I did.
Because I had to concentrate on taking pictures.
Yeah, I just take chalk.
So for this embarkation, we rated it a 5 out of 5. Absolutely nothing wrong. 50 minutes to get on board. I think that's not bad at all. I know there's been better, but you know, we were sat down for some of it, so that made it a lot easier, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So this leads to our first tip, which Georgie's kind of already touched upon, and that is as soon as you board the ship, make sure you log into the My Holiday app and book any dining, any entertainment that you want to do as soon as you board, because it may sell out. There's lots that we weren't necessarily able to do, so make sure you get on there as soon as possible. We'll put a link below in the description to the copy of the My Holiday app instructions if you do need it. There's also a video that you've done as well, talking through it. Yeah, on Ventura. So if you're a bit unsure, check out that video and Georgie can talk you through the app. But yeah, definitely make sure you book it soon. You book your activities as soon as you get on. So for this cruise, we decided to do a drinks package. We've never actually done one before P&O before. We've had them on other cruise lines, but P&O always seems to be quite expensive.
Yeah.
This one is a big fizz drinker. So we felt like the children's drink package was something that we could potentially break even on. So we thought we would do it. This worked out to £55.65 per person. Because one person in your cabin has it, the other person automatically has to have it too. And that works for each of the higher drinks packages as well. So if we had the all-inclusive, then I would have to have it too. So did we break even?
I honestly can't remember, Dan.
Well, the details are here. Yes, we did. So we have drunk 38 tap Pepsis or lemonades. That's a lot. And most of them were you.
Yeah, they were.
So they work out at £3.25 each, which in total comes to £123.50. We also, for some unknown reason, managed to get some hot beverages as well. We got a latte, 2 lattes and a tea. We think it was a mistake, but we took it. So that also added another £7.60. So in total, we spent £131 on our child's drinks package. That worked out at £65.55 in value each, which was a saving of £9.90 each. So we broke even by over £9.90, which is pretty good.
And I think if this was a cruise maybe in a warmer destination where we would have been maybe out of the cabin, because on this cruise it's been quite busy, which we'll talk about that in a second, but we've been in the cabin quite a bit, so we haven't really been getting soft drinks, whereas I think if we was out more during the day or sitting around the pool with the pool bars, you'd drink a lot more. So I think it's definitely worth getting that, even if you drink alcohol occasionally like us, because we've had a few drinks, but yeah. Yeah,
and you came back to the cabin and chucked some of your Grey Goose in it sometimes. Yeah, which we brought on board, because obviously you can take in 2 spirits or 2 bottles of wine onto the ship as well when you embark. So yeah, you enjoyed a vodka Pepsi,
Coke,
several times. So. Yeah. So leading on from drinks is another tip. We always take our water bottles from Viva, which they gave us for free. I think all the passengers get it, wasn't anything special, but I love this bottle. And around Iona, they have refill stations. I've seen them on deck 6, 8, by the atrium, and you said there's some upstairs as well, didn't you?
I saw them somewhere, I just can't remember where, which is really strange, but there are some upstairs.
Somewhere. So, yeah, we always fill this up and take it with us.
I know.
So yeah, that's a good way of getting some free drink if you're just happy with water.
I thought he was going to hit me in the face again then.
Oh, I tried.
Oh, rude.
So our cabin, I say so a lot, don't I?
You do.
And as you've already probably said.
So.
Our cabin is 5347. You've only just learned it, haven't you, on day 7.
How rude.
Kept going to different decks, it's a mess. And we're on deck 5, and as we've already said, we're in a sheltered cabin. So I think you should show us around the cabin.
Time for a little cabin tour.
Okay, so I'll start showing you around. So as you come in on your right hand side or your left hand side, depending on the configuration of your cabin, you do have your card holder there to put your card in to activate the lights and all the electricity in the room, and you have a light switch as well. We've then got the bathroom with the standard lip into the bathroom, but there's also a really handy night light on the floor, so at night time you can see your way to the bathroom as well. And it also helps to emphasise that lip, because I know it does catch some people out tripping over as they go into the bathroom. Okay, so once you kind of jump over the lip into the bathroom, it is a fairly nice sized toilet and shower area, so there's myself in the high. So you do have plenty of kind of towel storage up here. So these are for our large towels, you've got a hand towel over here. Our room attendant always puts our floor mat on these towel racks here, which is great. And yeah, so the shower is a glass door. It does open both ways as well, so you don't have the awkward kind of turn around the glass door. And yeah, I'm 6'1", 6'1"-ish, and there's plenty of room for me in here, plenty of kind of headspace, and you've got your white company shower gel and shampoo here. We also take a lot of our own toiletries. We also take one of these every cruise we go on. And yeah, it's a nice shower, and there's some nice water pressure in there too. And you do have a kind of drying string, just pop that in there. And then you've got some space there to dry some bits and pieces if you need to. Coming back into this area, toilet's nice. It's the standard toilet. If you press that button while you're sitting down, you will get sucked through the pipes. So yeah, make sure you don't sit down while you flush the toilet. And always put the lid down as well, because it's got that horrible kind of noise as it goes, so it's really loud. Plenty of storage area as well. So just under here, you've got 2 shelves. You've also got some more little shelves over this side, as well as a bin. The tap, again, fairly good water pressure, hot and cold. Some space to put your toothbrushes and whatever, and some more storage space just up here. You've also got some White Company hand wash and a nice large mirror which is lit around the sides, so it's great, so you can see every area of your face. And now back into the room we go, just the other side of the door. You do have some coat hooks just up here to put some coats and some bags, and I'm going to jump off of this little lip now too. So back into the main cabin area, you do have some aircon controls here. The aircon is really good. We put it on warm the other night and it turned into like a sauna. So we always have it on low anyway, because the heat is quite good and the aircon's quite good too. And you have some more light switches just here. This is for the bathroom. And as I mentioned, the night light just down below. But let's go into the main cabin area. Now this is a fairly large cabin, like there's quite a lot of space in here. It's not as long as Anthem of the Seas, the cabin we had for our transatlantic cruise. It's a little bit more compact, but it's still a nice spacious cabin. So behind me we do have a sofa which is big enough, I'd say about 3 adults to sit on. This also does turn into a bed if you do have 3 people sharing in a cabin. Some of these cabins do have a fold-out bed which comes down from the ceiling. This cabin does not, but we are on deck 5, so I think that might be higher up in the on the ship. I'm not entirely sure where those cabins are, but yes, we do have an extra bed here, so that's quite handy. So just behind me as well, we do have some storage areas. So quite a lot of storage on this ship. There's not that many hangers, but I do believe we didn't need that many, but you can ask for some more and I'll give you some more hangers to put up. You've also got life jackets up here, so you can have 3 people in this room. So we've got 3 life jackets as well. We use this to put all of like our shoes, I would say our dresses, but we don't wear dresses. So all our shirts are in that one, and a nice full-size mirror just here too. This one, again, pretty standard. Please do not judge us for our big box of heroes. It's Christmas, so it's only right to have that. Add some more storage space, and then just in this final one here, we have a safe. There's also some more hanging space just down here for some more t-shirts and whatever you want to hang up, really. You do have these lights as well, which you turn off by the switch just down below. Nice, it helps to kind of brighten up the room a little bit. But now onto the desk area. You might think it looks a little bit messy. That's because we decided to kind of live in the cabin before doing a room tour to kind of talk about its practicalities. So the desk space is quite nice. It's obviously a Christmas cruise, so we've got a little tiny Christmas tree with some lights on it as well. You do get a kettle and you get some tea and coffee making facilities. So you get tea, coffee making facilities, as well as cups and some mugs, teaspoons, and some biscuits, which we've kind of been storing in our cupboard every day, so we can take them all home with us at the end of the cruise. Just underneath we do have a fairly large mini fridge in here, which we've just got a couple of drinks that we've bought during our port days, and some more storage space just on that side there as well. What I do feel like it's missing is a little desk to kind of pull stuff out, because obviously we've got all our plugs and chargers up here, but there's a lot of kind of clutter, whereas I'd like to have a drawer just to chuck it all in and then close it and not be able to see it. And then just behind me we do have this large flat screen TV, which does pull out, so if you let, ooh, we pulled it off the wall. So if you're laying in bed you can turn it so you're not kind of like turning your neck to be able to watch the TV, which is also quite handy. And talking of this TV, plenty of choices for things to watch in there. Not only do you have your channels, you've got free movies, free TV shows, etc. It's quite great. You've got a telephone here. On this telephone you can ring for your My Holiday planning, for your dining reservations, entertainment, room service, and you can also call cabin to cabin, which is quite handy if you're travelling with other people. You do have some more cupboards just underneath. I'm going to sit on the bed to do this so because it's easier. So this one, again, don't judge us. This is our snack cupboard. So it's not, you don't get this included, this is the stuff we've put in here ourselves, but we use this just to put our food, because we always take food on board with us, so some chocolate and crisps, etc. But yeah, it's quite nice to have all this storage. The next thing to talk about in the cabin is these beds. They're quite long beds and they're quite nice, so you can have them in either a twin or a double configuration. We always go for a twin first and then move it into a double, because we prefer to have our own duvets, because I like to steal Dan's duvet overnight. And the beds are fairly large. I'll just kind of like show you. So I'm 6'2". I don't always have my shoes on the bed either, but did I just say I'm 6'2"?
You did just say you were
I just added an extra inch onto my height. I'm about 6'1", and
still generous.
and yeah, these beds are perfect. Like my feet don't hang off the edge or anything, so that's great. And you do have some bedside tables each side, some more little kind of storage areas. Got a GB plug on this side, and up here you do have a reading light and a kind of night light. However, we had a power cut on the first day, and since the power cut, these reading lights have not worked. So that's this one here. And it's also got a USB charger underneath, and on both sides of the bed, neither the reading lights nor the USB charging sockets actually work, only this light up here. And it's very similar on the other side of the bed, some more light switches, USB socket and a reading light, but again, those two don't work, and some more storage areas as well. So now onto the balcony. Now, as we're on deck 5, these doors are kind of like weatherproof resistant doors. So although usually they're quite hard to open anyway, this door has a little bit of a bang to it. And what we noticed last night is this is a shutter that I'm assuming in bad weather gets moved across the door into this fixing, to make it weatherproof, which is slightly terrifying. But it's got a nice big window here as well, and it's a fairly deep balcony, so there's enough room for 2 people to sit down on the chairs that are provided. There's also this little table as well, but as it is a winter cruise, we haven't really been out on the balcony all that much. It's just kind of more popping out just to see what it's like. We do have the lifeboats just above us, so it does kind of affect the view, but it's not so bad on this cruise. But I imagine on some other cruises it might kind of get in the way of the view, especially in the Norwegian fjords, for example. And although it is a kind of steel-fronted balcony, you do have glass windows underneath, so you can see through from the room straight down to the sea.
Well, that was a lovely tour.
Oh, thank you so much.
So yeah, quite pleased with this cabin.
It's nice. I know I said earlier it's not as long as Anthem of the Seas, but I think we were just lucky in our location on that ship. That It's kind of a really stretched out route.
I think this is a good location.
But do you?
So there are negatives to this cabin, but positives first. I think the fact that we disembarked and then embarked in Hamburg on deck 6, which is 1 deck up. The stairs are literally there. So easy. We didn't have to queue for lifts when we get back on, and I like that. Yeah. It was nice, and we're always 1 floor away from the first floor of the atrium. Really easy to get to. So for that reason, I quite like it. But negatives.
Negatives.
There's a random noise.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. So just above us is the Limelight Club on deck 6. So every now and again, you might be able to pick it up in this. I'm not really sure if it'll be able to pick it up, because I think it's going on now. It's kind of in the bottom corner of the room.
Yeah.
There's I don't know what that one was.
Balcony.
There's a, all I can think is like a toilet flush-in maybe, or something, but it sounds
like a
more
lift.
Or like a laundry kind of of noise. It's a bit strange. But that started on day 1. It does kind of stop overnight.
It does, yeah, oddly, which is why we think it might be toilets.
Yeah, and then it starts again about 8 in the morning, which would be weird if it was Limelight Club, because that's not open at that time in the morning, so we're not really sure what that is.
Speaking of Limelight, we have been quite lucky because the musical act, Matt Cardle, is doing an acoustic set. So up until when he finishes, it's quite quiet. But then at 10:30, 11, when the limelights come on in the Limelight Club,
you can hear the bass. Yeah,
the bass is very loud, and that finishes at midnight. For us, that's not a problem. You know, we rarely go to bed before midnight on a cruise. But yeah, if you are an early sleeper, I probably wouldn't go for this cabin if noise bothers you. Yeah,
and I think that'll probably be the same for most of deck 6, because you've got a lot of people walking upstairs, so maybe like deck 4, there's not balconies. I imagine it's a lot quieter because you've only got these balcony cabins or outside cabins above you.
Yeah. Another negative, they've removed the cans from the room, so you don't get 2 free cans anymore. We think it's some kind of cost-cutting measure, and from others we've spoken to, they seem to agree. But yeah, that was a little bit annoying, so we had to buy 6 with the offer, which was about £6.90 or so.
£6.96, yeah.
Which isn't ideal, but we really needed water at one point. So because the ship water is a bit odd tasting.
Chlorine-y?
Yeah, and you could really taste it in the teas. So yeah, we had to get some of this water for the tea. So.
We just thought it may have just been our cabin. But yeah, I spoke to a lovely couple earlier who came and spoke to me, and they said it was the same in their cabin, that they had no waters. So yeah, they seem to be getting rid of them on the ship, which is a shame because it's quite nice. Just have a little bit of fresh water.
I got another positive.
Have you?
Christmas films.
Oh yeah.
So we already love P&O for the reason that the films and TV on demand you don't have to pay for, which is great. So we always get to watch a few movies that we haven't seen before. Nice surprise, hidden right at the bottom of the all films list was about 10 Christmas films. Yeah. So we've watched Home Alone, we've watched Home Alone 2, we've watched After Christmas,
Surviving Christmas.
And it's been great. It's such a nice little touch that you can come back to your cabin at the end of the night and just chuck on a Christmas film. I love that.
And even like MSC charged $8 for a movie. Royal Caribbean was $14.
It was ridiculous.
For a movie which was in really bad quality and took ages to load when we decided to buy one. To have that massive like selection of choice was just, it's pretty incredible.
So for the cabin, we've rated it 4 out of 5. That's primarily for the noises in the wall, even, that have been getting...
Noises in the wall, it sounds so silly.
And yeah, Limelight, we had to take that into account. Even though it doesn't bother us, I do feel it's probably not that fair that, you know, you've got such a heavy bass noise through the evening. So
I think as well, as I mentioned in the cabin tour, when we had that power cut on the first day, everything went off. Oh, that was fun. Everything went off on the ship, didn't it? 'Cause there was people in the corridors with no lights on from their interior cabins that came out like with their torches on. And ever since that power cut, none of the USBs in our room by our pillows or bedside tables have actually worked, nor the reading light, the bedside reading light. Our plugs also stopped working, didn't they? So we had to get someone down to fix a fuse. So
they couldn't fix those ones, the bed ones though, because apparently they don't have any more in stock or something.
Yeah,
so.
The engineer who came here did say, oh yeah, they're broken. Most of them are broken on this ship, and they don't have enough new fixtures to put on. So
yeah, so if you're going on Iona in the next few months, I would make sure you take some spare plugs and don't assume that they are working, just in case. So that's the cabin done. What have we done?
I can't remember, Dan.
Well, it's lucky I've got it all listed out here for you. Firstly, Iona's decorated from top to bottom in Christmas, isn't it? It's quite magical, and it makes the rather clinical atrium look a little bit nicer. I know there are lovers of that atrium, so I apologise, but for me, it's a bit too...
The thing is, it's very like aluminium, steel and white, so it's got that kind of hospital feel to it. It's nice and it's modern and it's open with like the natural light, but it's just got like those kind of colours that aren't really warming as such.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Christmas decks do add to that, especially at night time when it's all lit up.
Yeah. They also, in the horizon as well, have a snowman hunt for the kids. So they give a little clue to where the snowman's going to be. So a little bit like Elf on the Shelf, I suppose. And they can go and take a photo and find him on the ship. So yeah, I thought that was quite fun. And there's also a pantomime on. There's been an Aladdin pantomime. There's also a Christmas show called Deck the Halls, which theatre show company have been putting on, which is okay. And what else was there that's Christmassy?
Christmas music in the lifts, Christmas music in the hallways, Christmas areas on all open decks, Christmas areas on all the indoor decks, and whenever I go out into the lift, it is always the same Celine Dion song that plays over and over and over again.
I haven't heard it once.
You haven't, but no. I've heard it every single time I've gone out in the car.
I love Christmas music. I think it's a nice touch, so I'm happy. There was a nice surprise last night.
Yes.
With Christmas dinner in the MDR. We went to Pearl last night. We didn't know it was Christmas dinner, and there was crackers on the tables, and they had a turkey dinner, which was in the chef's choice selection, wasn't it? And what did you have?
I had steak.
So, but yeah, that was a nice addition for the Christmassy bits. So we boarded. I tapping away on the My Holiday app, booking stuff, and we booked into the Keel and Cow for our first dinner, as the Glass House was still not back to the normal menu. So we're here at the Keel and Cow, Georgie. What deck is it on?
Deck 8.
I should have said, what ship is it on?
Iona.
And cruise line?
P&O Cruises.
So we had to book this, didn't we?
Yes.
And we had to join a queue on the My Holiday app. If you're not sure how to use the My Holiday app, you can check out George's tutorial,
which Dan will probably forget to link in this, but it should be downstairs.
Obviously.
Downstairs, should be down below in the description.
So it's in the atrium. It's quite buzzy and
it's a nice
lively.
atmosphere. Yeah. And England are playing in like an hour football, so we're a bit like, is it going to be quieter? We don't know. So yeah.
But yeah, in the Keel and Cow, what did you have?
So I went for the Prime Minister burger, and last time I had it, I said it was a really nice burger, but I wouldn't have it again because it was too much food. So I had it again, and it was actually really nice. However, I don't like blue cheese, so I just asked for no blue cheese inside it, and it was a really nice meal. What did you have?
So I had the baked Hampshire Tunworth cheese camembert dipping cheese. How many times can I say cheese? Which last time I had was amazing. This time a little bit of a letdown. The first time it came out, it was leaking all out the bottom, and a lot of the cheese had gone through the wood and out onto the plate. So I asked if I could get a new one.
It also tasted weird, like chemical weird. So it's very strange. So
they brought out another one kindly, and this time it was in a bowl and not in the camembert skin. And
it had been blended, hadn't it?
Yeah, they'd blended all the skin and only what I can assume is lots of other camemberts together, and it wasn't right.
It was a dirty, cheesy soup.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I couldn't eat that. I just enjoyed the bread that comes with it, which is just so nice.
Is that sourdough bread?
No.
Oh.
So after Keel and Cow, we headed up to the Sky Dome and we saw
the bird thing.
I love testing it. So it's called Rise, and it's the bird thing. It's a show where all these humans dressed as birds come onto the stage, and there's a
explorer.
Yeah,
trying to steal an egg.
They all kind of show off for him and everything,
and they fight.
Yeah,
and then they befriend each other.
Yeah, it was interesting. Kids will love it.
Yeah.
So if you're a family, definitely recommend going to see that. I think you'd enjoy that. And that's the sort of show that works in the Sky Dome. So that and another one called Tribu, which we saw in August at Fjords. The Sky Dome's perfect for. So yeah, if you haven't seen those shows, I would definitely see them at least once.
So after we watched Rise, we then decided just to come back to the cabin, chill with a good Christmas film.
This is going to happen a lot.
Yeah, we do this a lot. We like Christmas films. And yeah, so we came back, we chilled in the cabin, put a Christmas film on and just enjoyed the evening, didn't we?
Yeah.
As we kind of sailed away.
Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
Day 2.
Yeah.
And what better way to start off day 2, which is at sea and is lazy, than with room service. What we got?
So we have cornflakes and Rice Krispies.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to share. Okay.
Well, I think that's a bit self-explanatory.
Where's the cornflakes?
They're in the thing underneath.
Oh, right.
We've got some croissants, pan au chocolat, a blueberry and a chocolate muffin.
Look at that pastry selection.
It is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, those actually look amazing.
And just underneath, I'm going to drop these. Got a yoghurt for myself, add some cornflakes.
So that was just marked as fruit yoghurt, so we don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
And cornflakes.
And Dan asked for some extra milk as well.
Yeah.
For teas.
So they have well and truly given us extra milk.
Yeah, so you have to pay for this on Iona. Although you're not paying for breakfast, you're paying £2.50 delivery charge just on per person, so it is in total. So I don't think it's that bad for room service.
For lazy morning people like us, it's brilliant.
And I think we said yesterday, we aim to go to the restaurants, don't we, on port days, and on sea days, just chill in the cabin and have some room service. So, yeah.
Well, let's tuck in.
Yeah.
So we decided to do bingo on board, and the tickets were for sale during the first evening on board, and it cost me £20, which we put on our onboard account. And yeah, it was alright. For £20 we got, there was 5 games in total. I think it was 1 line, 2 lines, top and the bottom line, just the middle line only, then full house. And you get 6 cards on each strip, and then because it's a £20 package, you got 3 extra cards for the last game, so you had 9 cards to play from. And it was good, and the jackpot, I believe, was quite high as well, wasn't it, for each of the games?
Yeah, so the first one was 100, then 150, 180, 210, and then the last one was £5,000 if you got it within the first 44 balls.
Which I didn't.
And then it went down to £280.
So it was a good price. However, the only problem with the bingo, I'm not entirely sure why, there was 2 games on the sea day, but they sold all the tickets for Brody's, which is a fairly small bar on board the ship. And when we went in there with our bingo slips, there were no seats. And the seats that were there, as we were walking towards them, other families would see them and just go for them. So it's kind of like fighting for chairs, and I can't stand that. I'd rather just, just go and chill somewhere. So I went and asked the casino if I could just play later in the next game, and they said, yeah, no problem, because none of the tickets were registered for a particular game, which I thought was very strange. But we just played later on in the day, didn't we? And that was in the clubhouse, which made a lot more sense, and there was plenty of seats in there, weren't there?
Yeah. We've called ourselves the Buffet Guys before. This cruise, we've kind of let that name down a bit, because we've only actually been to the buffet twice.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, and yeah, the Iona buffet is just, it's not good. The selection is very poor. We went up there to obviously give it the benefit of the doubt and see if it was going to be good, but it wasn't.
Now, I know we've said this before on Twitter, and someone said, well, that's why the Keys is there, which is on deck 8, and there's 3 venues. It's fish and chips, Chinese, or American style burgers, or chicken. But the buffet is the buffet, and it's missing so much in there. There's 3 food stations. One always does a roast, one always does a curry, and one always does a vegetarian, which you think might be okay, but No, it's not. Like the salads are quite poor. The curries are quite poor as well. It was just not very good at all. Even if the keys are there, that menu never changes. So unless you're happy eating the same stuff every single day,
slight tweaks to the menu.
Yeah, but not much, is there?
No,
like those food choices aren't great.
So the oddest choice of buffet, really. Crackers and cheese.
It's kind of
and
like,
mustard sandwich. What?
it's kind of like a little ploughman you've done yourself, in a way.
Now you've ruined it because you were going to do an intro of where we were.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is buffet visit 1. We're only on day 2. Like,
Yeah.
Normally we've been here like 4 times by now.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But I've said, oh, I'm going to get something light, and I've gone for butternut squash soup with a side of chicken tikka masala.
Yeah.
So it looks quite nice, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Back to mine though. Golden syrup. I had to go on for Georgie because I know he likes golden syrup sponge. And salad cream, which is always good.
Salad cream's gross.
In the evening we decided to go to the MDR, and for this one we went to Aqua, which is one of the ones we hadn't ever been to before. So we waited an hour and a half from booking on the My Holiday app. I think there were around 20 in the queue, and it took ages. And I was dead set on going to this one because we hadn't been to it before.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to the big one at the back either. So yeah, it's a smaller dining room, isn't it? Reds, blacks and greys everywhere. Yeah. A bit darker, moodier than the other ones. There we both had steak because we're adventurous like that. And you had a Caesar salad?
I did have a Caesar salad, which had anchovies on it. Now I know it's standard that Caesar salad has anchovies. Usually does say on the menu, so it did come with fish.
And I was adventurous and had tomato soup. So if you want to see any of the MDR menus from this cruise, we have put a few on the website. So there's a lunch and a dinner menu, as well as the Christmas menu that we had the other night.
So after we had our dinner, we decided to go back to the Sky Dome on deck 16 to watch the Voxens. And we went up to deck 17, didn't we, in a nice little seated area.
Yeah, we got good
upstairs.
seat.
And it was really nice actually with a footrest. But the music started, the lights went down, and the sound quality in there is just, it doesn't work. So I felt really bad for, there was 3 singers on the stage and they sounded great.
They were really
had
good.
really good voices.
Yeah, and the harmonies were excellent.
But when they'd sing, because of the echo and the feedback, it was just that kind of like horrible noise that, you know, it sets the watch off saying this environment's too loud, like if you stay here for too long. It was over 90 decibels. But it's that high-pitched kind of like echo feedback noise because of the shape of the room, because it's a glass dome and it hasn't really been done for those kind of acts. And I just wish that they had those perform in the clubhouse or even in the theatre, because I think we'd have gone to watch them, but we just, yeah, it wasn't great for that, was it?
No. So after that, we decided to go for a walk around deck 8, chucked our coats on, and it was -2 out there. It was freezing cold, and we pretty much had it to ourselves.
Yeah.
So nice. We just like to get outside when it's a sea day and enjoy it a bit more, so that's why we did that. Came back to the cabin and warmed up, and obviously slightly regretted going out there, but it was worth it in the end. We managed to book into the 10:30 showing of Centre Stage in the theatre. What do you think of Centre Stage?
I really liked it. It's kind of like different musicals, songs from different musicals with dancing. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And when they done the Tina Turner bit, that was great. She had a really good voice.
Yeah, yes. The girls in particular, singers, had some amazing voices. And we also sat second row back as well, which I feel made so much more difference because you feel like you're a bit more in it.
But you do get the awkward eye contact of when they're singing and pointing and you're just staring back at them.
Or the spotlight.
Yeah, spotlight.
So, yeah, and like you're lit up along with the person on stage, like. So then, yeah, it was back to the cabin. It's quite late. You decided to go for a little wander, didn't you? And
it was kind of
saw something.
It was as we edged our way towards Hamburg, so we just kind of coming in the estuary, I assume it's called, towards Hamburg. And I went into marine traffic, so I had 5G at this point. And Virtuosa was just kind of leaving Hamburg, and I was watching it on the map get closer and closer, so I thought, okay, I'm going to go upstairs and try and take... I could have just done it from the balcony, thinking about it now, But I went upstairs and yeah, recorded it kind of going past, and that was pretty cool. It did look really small though, so I think it was quite far away, even though it felt close. It was, yeah, strange.
So on to day 3, room service again. You're looking like you're dressed warm.
I'm very warm. I've got a scarf to go on as well.
-3 today.
Yeah.
It's going to be freezing.
But we're here till like 10:30, aren't we?
Yeah, where are we? We haven't actually said
We are in Hamburg.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't leave till 10:30 tonight. Well, all on board at 10:30. So we've just taken it easy, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
little room service.
Yeah.
Your club sandwich.
We did say yesterday we were going to go to the restaurant on 4 days, but because we didn't get to sleep till like 2 o'clock this morning, we were like, let's just wake up and room service.
I had omelette.
And
Rude.
I had a club sandwich.
I just said that.
Oh, did you? And I just ignored you.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you was trying to interrupt my flow.
No, you interrupted me.
No.
Video evidence. Right, can we go now, please?
Yes. So we got the shuttle bus in, well, we stayed on board for a little bit in the morning, but then we decided to get the shuttle bus service that P&O provides into the centre.
So we've just got on the shuttle bus. I think it's £5 per person for a single into Hamburg, and it's conveniently right next to the police port. But the bus driver is just casually having a cigarette in the seat. So it smells of smoke on here.
But they also gave us a handy city map guide as well.
Yeah,
which is good. So we don't know where we're going to get dropped off.
We don't know when the bus leaves either, so we could be here for the next 40 minutes.
It's all a mystery.
Yeah.
Might not even be dropped off in Hamburg, who knows?
Could we go to like Uber? Well, via the ferry.
Yeah, I was going to say, that'd be pretty obvious if we're going there.
What did you think of Hamburg as a stop?
Oh, I loved it. It's. I know we've only got off on 2 of the 3, and yeah, Hamburg was really nice. The market was, even though it's busy, it was really nice. You know, we tried to do some different things, and we had a beer.
Yeah.
What you got there?
So we've just gone for a small beer. I just went and asked someone as well, what did you order? Like, how did you get a small beer? And they're like, oh, I just asked him for a small beer. So yeah, that's embarrassing. But yeah, beer, and it's €7 and you get to keep the cup as well. So,
Tell me, do you get to keep the cup?
oh, do you not?
No.
Oh, that's what she said over there. I don't know.
So we may end up stealing a cup. We'll let you know.
Did we try any food there? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. I looked at some, but then I never did.
I bought some spinny candles. There's probably a much fancier name for them. Spinny candles from one of the shops there. But they had loads of stores. There was cheese, little wood toys,
horseshoes,
lots of sausage stalls. Yeah, horseshoes. That was an odd one.
Yeah,
didn't really get that. And also at 2, 4, and 6 and 8 p.m. I think it was, Santa went overhead. Unfortunately, we didn't see that, but apparently it looked quite good.
Yeah. We did, however, once we left the main Christmas market in the kind of centre, we discovered, on walking towards another shop, a poutine restaurant. So we love poutine. Kind of ironic, again, I'm still wearing, I've only taken one hoodie with me, which is why I'm still wearing it. But it's the Canada hoodie. So when we went into the poutine restaurant, it was like...
What was the poutine restaurant called, Georgie?
Futen... Oh,
it's written here, I just want to make him say it.
Fit and Work. Fit and Work. And it was quite nice, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing.
Wow, the smell's coming from this.
It smells amazing, doesn't it?
Now, you just pointed something out to me that is highly funny.
We've come into a Canadian poutine style restaurant. Well, the place that sells poutine, and I'm wearing my Canada hoodie.
It's like it's meant to be. It's like you've taken a day trip here to just do this. I'm dressed up for the event.
Proper tourist.
So, what do we have here?
So Dan's gone for sweet potatoes, Quebec style, with, is it mozzarella you say?
Yes, this is mozzarella, so it should be cheese curds for actual poutine. Yeah. But we'll give it a go.
And gravy.
Looks yum.
And I've stood up the boat and I'm just gone for this is chips, pulled pork and coleslaw, so... Yeah, it looks nice though, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Should we dig in?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, we walked around some of the shopping areas. So we went to Sephora. We tried to find a Kiehl's because I needed some hand cream. Unfortunately, they'd run out of hand cream, but I won't bore you with that. And
went to Doc Martens.
Yeah, we found a few more Christmas markets sporadically located around, and I think they were all run by the same company because they all had the kind of same style and same stalls. So if you don't want to go to the busier city town hall location that we went to. There are other options in the shopping area.
Now, I did feel walking around the main one, it was quite, not stressful, but there's a lot of people walking towards you and you're moving for them. Then when we went outside of that area and there's more markets, they were quite empty, so it's nice just to walk around and actually look at stuff without getting in people's way, which is quite nice. So then we got an Uber back towards the ship, which cost us €37 for the journey. And our Uber driver, it was like a crazy drive. He was going like 90 kilometers an hour on 50 roads. It was quite terrifying, but we did make great time and we got back to the ship ready for security.
Yeah, security was slightly different to anything we'd experienced before as well, because it was on the ground rather than being done at the ship. So like Anthem that we were last on, it was done as you boarded at the entrance to the ship. So it's all done on the ground, so it's a lot more efficient, a lot more moving, and a lot more metal detectors working than we used to. So that was good.
It was a big queue, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but it didn't take long at all. Yeah.
This is, of course, when we discovered that having a cabin on deck 5 was fantastic for that. So where everyone else was going straight to the lift to go up and queuing for ages, we just walked down one flight of stairs.
Down one stairs
and we were home in a lovely warm cabin.
And what did we do in that cabin once we got back?
Well, Georgie, we had another quiet night in with a Christmas film.
Yay! We did, however, stop off at the buffet in between getting back on board and watching the film, and I had some fried chicken from the buffet, and Dan had some, from the Keys, and Dan had some cheese and crackers from the buffet. The reason I didn't eat at the buffet when Dan was eating at the buffet is because there was nothing that I could eat.
So day 4, it was celebration night. We were back at sea. Celebration night for some reason was more in the middle of the cruise rather than the second day, which again is something that we've seen before in P&O. There was only actually one celebration gala dress up night on this cruise. So I started the day off with a haircut. So I pre-booked this online for £19. It was a men's wet cut and style dry. Now, normally you'd expect to go and there'd be a barber set up and, you know, proper chair and mirror. Unfortunately, I think this was a bit of an afterthought for the spa, because it's a little chair propped up on the side of a table with a mirror about that big. So yeah, it was an experience. Getting your hair washed and everything was all normal. That was really nice. I had a head massage, quite enjoyed that. But getting the haircut, you know, he's looking in his tiny mirror, struggling to see my hair whilst cutting it, and I'm trying to look to see, you know, what he's doing as well. So yeah, I would probably say they need to improve that and move the men's over to one of the actual stylist haircut areas, because they were empty when I was in there, so we could have used that, which is really odd. It
seems a shame because, as Dan said, they were empty, that the men's products that they offer in that salon and spa are a lot less than what they offer women. And I get that women are probably more likely to go for a massage or a treatment,
yeah,
but we like massages and treatments too.
I say all that, the hairdresser was very good. He did a good job, especially with the limited amount of time that he had, because as it wasn't like a normal hairdresser's, they had to stick to those slots. They couldn't go over. You know, as soon as he started to go over by a few minutes, the manager came over and said, you need to be done now. So yeah, I feel the staff are under a lot of pressure, but he did a very good job nonetheless.
So
a fighter jet's just gone by.
Yeah.
So after that, we decided to go for Pearl for lunch, and that's the bigger one.
Yeah.
You had an Asian chicken burger, didn't you?
Yeah, Asian barbecue chicken burger. I'm not sure what was Asian about it. There was just some kind of red peppers inside, which I feel like they were trying to make a kimchi to go inside it, but it just tasted like red peppers and chicken.
Yeah.
But saying that, it was quite nice. It was quite tasty. What did you have?
I had the Glamorgan vegetarian sausage in a puff pastry, which was really, really nice. Presentation-wise, not so nice, but the vegetarian sausages are really cheesy, and one of the nicest ones I've had actually. We then finished it up with a treacle tart, which I thought was going to be like a treacle pudding with custard, and
it reminded me of like pound cake.
Yeah.
It was really thick, wasn't it, and kind of starchy.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So after that, we headed back to the cabin, and we had to spruce up ready for the celebration night. So we had a few hours just to chill and get ready. So when we were ready, we headed up to the Crow's Nest for some pre-drinks, and we'll show you what happened there now.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Georgie.
So,
this is well, now for the sake of the viewers, I'm just going to say we've already recorded. Well, had a chat, but Georgie forgot to press the record button, so we're having to rehash everything we've just said. So bear with us, because we need to remember
what we remember. So Dan, what night is it tonight?
It's celebration night, Georgie.
Perfect. And what are our plans?
Well, Georgie, we're going to the Crow's Nest where we are now, where there's a nice live pianist playing. We have got our free drinks, which is...
It was either champagne or elderflower press. And we've gone for the elderflower press because... Oh, I think Dan doesn't like that.
That's nice.
Why have you gone for that?
Because we didn't want any alcohol.
Or just that, not because of the whole champagne thing.
Because we're getting some champagne, we're going to treat yourself in the Epicurean, which we're going to next, which we've got to 7 p.m.
We thought it'd be nicer to have celebration night in the Epicurean. It's a bit more private, isn't it?
Yeah.
We haven't done the Epicurean on Iona, have we?
No, we've done the Epicurean on Britannia. We did it twice. We booked it twice within the week because we loved it so much the first time.
Yeah.
But it's so much quieter and, like you said, a bit more intimate, so a bit more relaxed.
However, it is sold out for this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the whole week is blocked out. You can't even book it on board now. But that's similar with most things on board, isn't it? Even like the 7:10 Club. Even though, do you have a booking for that later on tonight at midnight?
Yeah. I'm going to be asleep on the table with my cosmopolitan.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to make it or not, but the last few nights have been up quite late, so maybe.
Right. Well, I think you need to try it out for our press.
Yeah.
And we need to go to Epicurean.
If you don't.
Oh, it's nice in here, isn't it?
It is. It's so much different compared to Britannia, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot larger.
Yeah.
But very nice.
It's got a little booth.
Yeah.
Edge, which is quite nice.
Feels quite private, so that's good. We've just been given everything, aren't we, right now? So
Let's go at once.
we've just had this, which is a watermelon drink. I don't think I'm going to like that. But the bread, look at the bread. I wish I could show you the whole tray because it all looked amazing, but this is the whole meal version. Live taste test of the watermelon drink.
Oh, it's very watermelon-y.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Maybe like you.
I saw it, and it looks like the nice drink from M&S that you have.
Cranberry lemonade.
Yeah, oh, that would have gone down quite well. But unfortunately, no, not a fan. But, oh, sorry.
The table just moved. Yeah, as Dan was saying, everything kind of came at once, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's really quick.
But we have ordered our Tattinger. So, yeah, it's exciting. So, cheers. You right there?
Yeah. Cheers.
That's the Tattinger Rosé. That's £47 a bottle. And it's the only thing we plan to buy this evening.
Yeah.
But we pre-booked the Epicurean. And
How much it costs?
no, but it's in the corner of the screen right now with the magic of editing. But yeah, definitely recommend it. It's normally a very good experience, and I'm sure Iona is going to be as well. So you shall see soon as we
They did
continue.
say when we came in, it's a 2.5 hour experience.
Yeah,
So it does take a while, but just tell your waiter if you have plans, they can kind of speed up the process.
yeah.
So,
Well, because we want to get to the clubhouse tonight to watch Guilty Pleasures.
yeah, which is in 2.5 hours exactly.
We need to see if they sing George's favourite song.
They're going to, aren't they?
What's your favourite song?
It's not my favourite song at all. But P&O are never gonna give it up.
Yeah.
Gonna let it down.
I think they get that song cheap or something to perform, so it's always on. Right, let's tuck in. So, Georgie, how was your 24-hour slow-cooked ox cheek in a bone canoe with parsley sponge and beef-flavoured mayonnaise?
Did you just read that out?
No?
It was really nice, as you can probably see by my plate. Although I'm not a fan of the bone canoe. I think it's very random.
No.
However, the in-laws dog would love that. And how was your...
Roasted red pepper parfait, goat's milk curd, sunlit blushed tomatoes, and a spinach and basil puree.
What's going on with your voice?
That was you.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, should I have gone? How was it?
So presented really well. It's really, like, you tried it, didn't you? It's quite strong, like
It's very sweet, it's a
peppery taste. Yeah, but it was nice. It was a nice lightish starter for the steaks that are on their way. Main has arrived. I'm going to disturb you.
I've kind of already deconstructed my plate, so it doesn't look as nice as when it came out.
No, but everyone's seen it.
Yeah, but it looks amazing, doesn't it?
It does, and the steak is yum.
I just like the side bit. I've gone for medium, you've gone for well done.
Yeah, and Georgie also wanted to try the mustards, so French
mustard, English.
Verdict?
I prefer French mustard. English mustard's too strong for me. That's quite strong, but I prefer the French. It's nice and subtle.
And you can also order some sides as well. So we went for broccoli, potatoes, and spinach.
But because Dan didn't get any chips on his, I went for the thick cut chips. He has more room on his plate to put my veg on, whereas I don't. So I've got to eat some to clear some room first, and then I can have some sides.
How are those chips though? They look amazing.
They're really nice for cut one. They're like really crispy on the outside, but like really soft and fluffy.
I'm getting
inside.
Glasshouse vibes.
It is very similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, Glasshouse on here is very different.
Yeah.
I don't know if the menu's changed on all the ships, but there is the steak's gone.
Yeah, it's quite sad.
So, but this is as good as we've had.
Well, I think it is, but I can't really eat it right now because you keep filming me.
You can eat and I film.
Or eating and filming at the same time.
Hang on, we're going to wait to see if you eat.
I'll just chop mine up into small cubes.
All right, I'll leave you alone.
Okay.
So the desserts are here. Firstly, though, we had our pre-dessert, which was a raspberry sorbet. Really nice.
It was really nice. Yeah, it was really tangy as well. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
nice little palate cleanser.
Yeah. And now the main desserts.
So how is your apple and juniper crumble?
It's really nice. It's going to sound so silly. Everything was apple-y, so I got apple sorbet and apple ice cream and just apple crumble.
Yeah, look at that little tower of crumble.
I want to know if I can eat this apple.
I think you can eat everything on the plate.
I might try that in a second. So yeah, there's a lot of apple on my plate, so it feels like I'm getting 5 a day. How about yours?
Oh, yum.
I just tried some of your meringue and it's really lemony, isn't it?
Yeah, we were a little bit worried because of the lavender that was mentioned, but like it tastes like a really nice lemon meringue.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the lemon curd is on a short crust biscuit,
Yeah.
and then you've got meringue on top.
Nearly done.
I'm defeated.
So we have a coffee and a tea to finish off.
Yeah.
But wow, I don't know if we're going to be able to move.
I'm excited to take the suit off and just put like a comfy t-shirt on and a hoodie.
Yeah, we are going to head back out, but we're going to change suits because yeah, we just want to be comfortable.
I feel like because it's been 2 hours so far, 2 hours 15 minutes, it's a long time to sit in a suit and have dinner, so it's quite nice to relax afterwards. And it's not horse black tie, is it? Like the clubhouse,
No.
or anything like that. So we're going to go and watch some entertainment, I think, this evening.
Yep.
Have you enjoyed your dinner up here?
I have, it's been really nice. It's definitely the best meal I've had on here for this trip so far.
Yeah.
There's the olive grove coming, which I really enjoyed last time you didn't, so that might
I
be a
did enjoy
contender.
it because I had the kebab thing.
Oh,
It was
okay.
nice, yeah, I did like it.
And we also have the Limelight as well, which is a new one for us. So we shall see if Epicurean is going to win this trip.
Yeah. The thing I've liked a lot in here is the service has been really attentive.
And really friendly as
Really
well.
friendly, yeah. It's nice to have a little conversation with the staff as well,
Yeah.
so it's been nice.
Yeah, I find the MDR's a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah. I think it's because they've got so many people to serve, whereas here it's a bit more intimate. Yeah.
Cool.
So once we were suitably full from eating at the Epicurean, we decided to go to the clubhouse to watch Guilty Pleasures. So the singers, this is the first time we'd watched Pulse, wasn't it, in the clubhouse?
This cruise.
On this cruise, yeah, sorry. And the singers were really good on this cruise. Like,
Yeah, they
I
were.
was very impressed. So yeah, it was a good show. It is the same show as what we'd seen in August and also on Britannia, because they do the same shows, just different kind of formats. But yeah, we still sat there for a bit and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah. On to day 5, we were in Rotterdam. So we've been to Rotterdam before and we had seen a few places that we wanted to visit. Firstly though, Rotterdam doesn't really have a Christmas market.
No.
So we did some research, and we also heard from people on board there isn't one. So it wasn't very Christmassy, and unfortunately it was our first stop of the Christmas Markets cruise, which this cruise was called, that didn't have a Christmas market. So quite an odd port to put in, but nonetheless we like Rotterdam, so we got off and explored. For this one, there were lots of excursions available to book. There was also some to Amsterdam, which is a few hours, is it, away from?
I was thinking about an hour in a coach or 30 minutes in a train, I think.
Right, so you can go there for the day. There was lots of options, or you can just stay in Rotterdam. There was no shuttle bus because we were effectively docked in Rotterdam, so they don't have to provide a shuttle bus for that. A taxi was €9 into the centre. A metro day ticket was €9 for the day, so quite a good price actually, especially versus the London Underground.
I do remember hearing people talking in the lift saying that they called an actual taxi company instead of using Uber, and that was like €20 to get into the centre, whereas on Uber it was about €9 or so. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper.
Alternatively, you can walk, which is about 20 minutes, or you can do what we did
and take a water taxi.
What's a water taxi?
So water taxis, in the city of Rotterdam, the main river has a speed limit of 50 miles per hour. It could be kilometres an hour, that sounds more European. 50 kilometres an hour on the water. But just next to the port, so as you walk towards the bridge, there was a taxi point there. But I think you have to call the number in order to organise a taxi to come pick you up. But just behind the New York hotel is the actual kind of like building of the taxi company. So we decided to head on down there. And can you remember what location number that was?
44.
44, so they're all kind of given dock numbers if you like. So taxi point 44 in Rotterdam. And we walked in there, we'd made a booking online anyway, but for some reason my phone mucked up the times, and spoke to the lady there, and she just ordered us a taxi. And then it arrived, didn't it? And then we just sped off to our destination.
Yeah.
Into the centre of, I think it was called Centrum. Where we was heading off for the day anyway, and it was really fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a nice little speedboat ride, a little bit of an adrenaline rush just to go to where you wanted to go, and it was a really good price as well. It was €4.50 per person, so yeah, I thought it was great.
And that's to anywhere?
That was for the central area. There's three different bands. There's central, and there's east, and there's west. So I think it's more expensive if you go from central to east, for example, because you're staying in that middle kind of belt. It was €4.50 per person.
Definitely recommend. It's a nice, unique way of getting into the location.
It was very quick as well.
Before we came on this cruise, we decided to book a restaurant called Vessel 11. So we saw this when we came here with Viva, and we did a walking tour. And what it is like a lighthouse ship.
Yeah.
And it was part of the British fleet of lighthouse ships. And somebody bought it in Rotterdam, docked it here, and now it's a British themed restaurant called Vessel 11. So we booked in there for a drink and some snacks. We didn't book in for lunch because we had other plans later on. So that was unusual. It was like someone's living room on there, wasn't it? Like, it was a bit old British, I'd say. Yeah,
it was really relaxing there.
It was nice, yeah, don't get me wrong.
There's a lot of outdoor areas on board as well, which obviously was too cold for that. But where we sat was in kind of like the main, just next to the bar, kind of like, is it called a nook? I think I called it a nook where we kind of sat. But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. You went exploring as well, and you took some pictures.
Did I? Oh yeah, I did.
What were those pictures?
So those pictures are from like the outdoor area, so where you can sit in the summer. I imagine it's lovely. I also took a couple of videos downstairs as well. I went to the toilet was downstairs, and they've got kind of like a dance floor downstairs as well. So I think it turns into more of a club at night. This
is going to seem like an unusual question, but I have to ask because I don't know. Did you take a picture of the toilet?
No, I didn't, but I should have done. So the urinal, so sadly ladies you won't see the urinal, but the urinal itself was, is it a beer keg?
Yeah.
It was just a beer keg with like the front cut out of it. It was connected to plumbing, you weren't just wheeling into a beer keg. So yeah, that was strange, but I guess upcycling? Or would that be downcycling?
Yeah, good reuse.
Yeah.
So on Vessel 11 we had Georgie had a light ship cider.
light ship cider,
which was €6.80. I had a boring Sprite, and we also had a cheese board as well, which cost €14.50, which was quite yummy. Quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it too.
So after Vessel 11, we went to Mark Hall. Did I say that wrong?
I believe it's Marked Hall. I could like market that. Marked Hall.
So our plan was to have a drink on Vessel 11 and then head then and try some food. So yeah, you found a
Vietnamese, oh, I don't know if it's Vietnamese, pho, pronounced pho, P-H-O, which I fell in love with in Singapore.
Yeah.
So I decided to have some there, and it was amazing.
I had spring rolls.
And they were nice?
I'm not adventurous. They were very nice because they were freshly deep fried. And it had a sweet chilli dip with it. It's perfect for me. Just a little snack. I loved it. How was your pho?
My pho was lovely. It was, yeah, just doing back to Singapore. It was nice.
We also watched the excursion video on board before we got off, and we noticed there was a little stall called Goopstroop, which did some waffles. And so we thought, let's go and try those because they sound really nice. And what it was is a waffle cut in half.
It's like a really thin waffle, isn't it? Like a pancake waffle.
And you can have either like was it a toffee filling or all different ones. We went for salted caramel. It's called a stroop waffle. And it was yummy. I loved it.
So the only problem was, as I had the waffles, Dan went to Dunkin' Donuts to get a drink, didn't you? And they obviously kind of cooled in my hand a bit, and then by the time Dan got back, I handed him his, but they're very fragile. So they're very thin and they're very fragile. So as I handed it to him, it snapped in half, and half of his fell on the floor. Oops.
As Georgie said, we also went to Dunkin' Donuts as well and got the lovely 6 donuts that are on your screen right now. And I can say they were very nice.
So adventurous, aren't we?
I know, but we did get strip waffles, so we're tasting the local food.
Yeah, and it was nice.
Afterwards, we had done everything we wanted to do, so we hung around for the sunset and to get some final pictures of Marked Hall, and because they've got a really nice Christmas tree neon display. So yeah, and then we headed back to the ship. We paid €9 for a taxi, and this Uber trip was also with incident.
So if you follow us on Twitter, you'll know that the recent few cruises we've been on have kind of ended in disaster. Dan got ill on a transatlantic we call COVID on MSC Virtuosa. So we were kind of like, we hope nothing happens on this cruise because we just want a nice relaxing one where we don't need more time off from work when we get back to the UK. So when this Uber arrived, he kind of done like, it was in like this kind of dead end road, so we needed to turn around, but he'd done like half a turn and he stopped, and I thought, oh, he's waiting for us to get in the car. So I walked towards the front of the car to then get inside, and as I walked towards him, he sped up towards me, and I was like, oh, okay, so I kind of stood up the road and, you know, moved back, and he pulled up in front of me, so I was like, okay, I'll walk around the back to get in the other side. And as I walked around the back, he put the car into reverse and reversed it into me. And it was just like, we seem to be tempting fate on this cruise. Thankfully, I wasn't injured, but even one of the locals shouted "crazy driver" at him, so yeah. So
after that,
drama.
Yeah, we got back to the port, and it was very similar to the Hamburg cruise terminal in that security was on the ground. So it was really quick moving, probably the quickest so far. And we were back on the ship. After a quick chill, we headed to the theatre and we saw the show Deck the Halls, which was a Christmas themed show with all different Christmas songs on. And yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
Good for the family.
Yeah.
After that, we headed to the MDR and we went to Opal this time, which was the final restaurant MDR restaurant we hadn't actually been to on Iona. So that was opposite Aqua. This one's a little bit brighter, so it's kind of gold, blues and cream and browns, wasn't it? I quite liked that one. So you had Iberico ham croquettes.
I think so.
And I had tomato soup. And then for mains, Georgie had a pork collar steak.
I really liked that. And I had some mustard on the side as well.
Good.
Lovely.
And I had a vegetable and bean chili taco shells, which was yummy.
Definitely recommend if it's on. It's not too spicy. I'm not a spicy fan, but that was just enough. And then we followed that up with a Kahlua?
Kahlua, I think I had, and you had a...
I had a Martell VS brandy, which was okay. I used to like brandy, but I think I've gone off it now, so yeah.
Yeah. But that was quite nice, and you still get on-board discount.
Yeah.
Because you're in the Peninsula Club, which is quite handy.
Yeah, only the lowest level of Peninsula Club, so that entitles 5% off, which we're very happy with because it's still money off.
Yeah. So on day 6, Dan, what did you do for breakfast?
Well, Georgie, when we went to the MDR, oh no, we have room service.
We have room service again. We did say at the start of this cruise, on our port days, we will have, we'll go to the MDRs. On sea days, we'll have room service. But we haven't been to an MDR for breakfast yet.
And we avoid the buffet because it's just heaving for breakfast. And by the time we wake up, it's near the end. And of course, everyone else is in that situation and fighting for food in the buffet. So no, I don't want to go out there when it's so busy.
And I'm not really fussed about breakfast because lunch is always around the corner when we wake up. So that's quite handy.
So yeah, but room service breakfast, you still get cereal, you still get some baked goods, so you can't complain. It's better than nothing.
Yeah. So even though we weren't leaving Rotterdam port until 7:30 p.m, we didn't really want to venture too far into Rotterdam. We're coming back next year as well, so I feel like if we do too much in Rotterdam, we won't have much to do when we come back next year. So instead we had a little wander around where the cruise was kind of docked up, and it's quite a nice little area, isn't it? It's kind of residential and a couple of work offices, but we did stumble upon this kind of nice, would you call it a bistro?
Cafe deli.
Yeah, and I believe it's called Rolf's, and it was really nice.
Yeah.
So we decided to have brunch in there. So I went for...
He looked down there then because he obviously thought I'd made notes, but he hasn't put it down, so he doesn't
I went for Eggs Benedict, but I also wanted a bagel on the side, so I ordered a cream cheese bagel, thinking it was going to be like just a small bagel, but it wasn't. It was a whole breakfast in itself, so I had 2 breakfasts for myself. And you went for a
Dutch breakfast,
which had avocado on toast.
Yeah, which was yummy.
A croissant.
Yes.
With jam.
Yeah.
Granola.
Yeah, granola and yogurt. And I think they called it a Dutch cake, which is basically a mini donut with some kind of chocolate filling. So a right mixture of food on one plate. But yeah, that poached egg was just cooked to perfection. And
I had a latte as well, but I always love when Dan orders a tea, because tea with milk. It's happened in Amsterdam as well, and said, "Oh, have some milk please," and they look at you very strangely.
I think we're mad.
Because I don't think they have many British people in there who have milk in their teas. This was like, what, your actual milk in a tea? So yeah, that's always quite funny.
Yeah, she did say, "Oh, so you want an English tea?" Yeah. So, yes, please. I love my milk. So we got back on the ship. It was still quite cold, so it was nice to warm up, and we went up to the Crow's Nest for a few hours and just chilled in there.
Yeah.
Tried to get a few more Pepsis just to get our numbers
to break even.
Then we headed to the clubhouse to see Pulse again, and that evening it was guilty pleasures. What's your guilty pleasure, Georgie?
What, music?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I don't like that.
Is it too embarrassing?
If you're going to make me sing Rick Astley, which P&O always play, that's not a guilty pleasure. Yeah. I don't know, what's yours? You put me on the spot.
I would say the new film Spirited's album. Yeah, that's probably quite embarrassing, but I love it. I love the Christmas songs in it. If you haven't seen it, it's on Apple TV. This is not a promotion, but it's actually a really good film, and the music's really, really good.
And for some reason, I've been re-listening to Dear Evan Hansen's musical soundtrack on this cruise. So that's, yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Back to this vlog, slightly distracted.
So on to day 7, we woke up and had a lay-in, a rare lay-in. Probably still only like 7 hours sleep. I'm still shattered. And we headed to the atrium for coffee and tea, which we didn't get as part of the package, unfortunately, that time. We had to pay. So yeah, that's a shame. We had a booking at the Olive Grove, which was very nice. What did you have?
So for our starter, we went for I believe it's the Mediterranean trio, which had calamari, but we didn't like calamari, so we asked for none of that. Again, the ham croquettes that I'd had in the MDR the other day, and some halloumi cheese. I thought it was quite nice.
Yeah.
You put some salt on the halloumi cheese, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you like really salty.
It didn't really
halloumi
taste so
cheese.
much.
It was a bit bland. It did have chilies with it, but the chilies didn't taste of anything either. It was very strange. And then for my main, I had chicken. I thought it was chicken on the bone because it reminded me of Nando's, but there's no bone in it. So it was boneless chicken. And it was quite nice and spicy. I think it was peri-peri flavoured. And you had
lasagna, which was very, very nice. So quite enjoyed that. So the olive grove is included, but there are a few options on the menu that you pay extra for. So you can go there and order as part of your inclusive cruise. But if you do fancy an upgraded meal within there, you have that option, which is always nice.
And they're not that expensive, are they? If you do want to have the extras.
Yeah. So we forgot to tell you where we were. How do you say it?
What?
Where we are?
Now?
Yeah. I don't know how to say it.
Oh, wait, I thought you meant like in the cabin.
Cabin.
So I used to think it was Zeebrugge until I saw on Channel 5 an advert for that ferry disaster.
Okay.
And it said the ferry disaster of Zeebrugge. So I think we're in Zeebrugge.
So there are no Christmas markets here either.
You have to go into Bruges, which is about 30 minutes away, I believe. Or there is a shuttle bus to take you into the town nearby, but you have to pay for that shuttle bus. There is no prices in the Daily Horizon, which I thought was very strange. I thought they'd listed prices in there. But we just thought, we'll just chill on the ship.
Yeah.
And what a relief, because the ship has been quiet all day today.
So nice.
You can walk up a corridor and like not have people like argue at you for walking towards it and stuff.
I will say a lot of our pictures we've taken today, so it makes the ship look empty. Sea days, it was nothing like those pictures, so please don't think that it's been like that for the last 7 days.
So this cruise is actually sailing at full capacity, although we did overhear someone saying yesterday it's 81 people below capacity, so it has been very busy.
Yeah, it's certainly the busiest cruise we've ever been on. Like, there's been times where it's been very hard to find a table. Yeah. So moving on in day 7, we headed to the Limelight Club. So, shall we have a look?
I think we should.
So we're back from the Limelight.
Yes.
We need to tell everyone about it.
Yeah, we was going to do this upstairs, but we got outside and it's freezing cold, isn't it? So we thought, let's just go back to the cabin and do it.
So we weren't sure what to expect, but it's basically a dinner for the first 2 hours, so from 7 till 9.
Yeah.
We got there 15 minutes early and managed to get quite front row.
Yeah,
table,
like
front row
second
table.
row-ish.
Yeah.
But 2 tables either side, so it's kind of
Could have been worse.
Yeah, I did have a pillar kind of slightly to my left, but I think they worked the chairs out so each person can see the stage or the full stage. It was quite good.
Yeah. So for starters, we both had a crisp honey glazed Berkshire black ham hock with some pea panna cotta, pickled carrot, and mint emulsion. You don't need to look so awkward. Pictures of food are over your face right now, so it's,
Oh, are they?
no one can see you. How was that?
I really enjoyed it. The ham hock was quite nice. The pea souffle was a bit strange to start with, but I did like the taste. I didn't finish it.
It went well with the ham.
There was quite a lot there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Quite a lot of that. But yeah, that was really nice.
Then for mains, so we both had the same thing throughout,
throughout
so
the whole thing.
quite boring. We had a pan roasted fillet of only grounds beef with burnt onion something, shallots, leeks, and ginger glazed carrots. You
So
were
it was
right.
ginger. And we read the menu, but I didn't read the menu fully. So when we was eating the carrots, it was a bit like there's a strange taste here. It was warm in my mouth, and yeah, it was ginger on the carrots. Now I really liked the beef. I thought it was a really nice succulent piece of beef. What did you think?
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Almost as good as the Epicurean.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's cooked to exactly how I asked up for it, so it's really nice.
Yeah. And then the dessert
Was a dark and white chocolate mascarpone bomba, which had raspberries and amarula ice cream.
Oh, that was why it was nice.
But it had bits. I just thought it was a chocolate bit.
Unless they were frozen pieces of amarula, which kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure. That was really nice too. I'm not a fan of chocolate puddings or chocolate ice cream, chocolate cake. I'm more of a savoury person, sausage rolls, than I am cakes. So yeah, but I thought it was really nice. I did leave a bit of my chocolate mascarpone, but I ate everything else on the plate. But you ate it all, didn't you?
Yeah, it was yummy.
Before me, Dan usually takes his time with food. We finished it before I finished mine.
So yeah, then 9 o'clock came round and the lights went down and Matt Cardle came out, who was the performer for our evening.
What a lovely warm welcome. Thank you so very much. You guys alright? Yeah. You sound awfully chipper for the end of the holiday. It's only a good thing. We've had some subdued crowds here mid-holiday, so you never know. I'm gonna play some of my favourite songs of all time this evening. I'm not going to smash you over the head with too much of my music. It's all out there to stream and to steal. It's the same thing, really. No, I've got 4.5 albums out there for you to enjoy if you choose to do so. But to kick off with, do we have any fans of Chris Isaacs? It's always good.
What do you think of Matt Cardle, Georgie?
It was an acoustic performance, so it was a bit like, oh, what's this going to be like? Because there's no kind of big band or band behind him. But he was actually really good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he had a really good voice. He'd done a couple of his own songs and a couple of renditions of other songs as well. Put his little twist on them. But yeah, he was really good voice.
Yeah, he was on for about 45 minutes.
Yes.
So that's what to expect. I presume others would be the same. So we were in there for just under 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
it's quite a long experience, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. It didn't feel like 3 hours,
No.
so that's good. And I also forgot to add, around it was just before the main, the Limelight's band came out. If that's what it's
Oh
called.
yeah, and done some Christmas songs.
They did 4 Christmas songs for us, which was nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, how would you rate your Limelight Club experience?
I think it couldn't have gone any better. The food was good, the service was good, music was good. Are we rating this out of 5?
Yes, please.
If so, I'll probably say 5.
Oh, a
Yeah.
5?
Yeah. What would you rate it?
I agree.
Yeah.
It was. So apologies if we've already said this, but it's £28. I think you said it in the restaurant, didn't you? So it is like a similar price to Epicurean, but you are getting good food and
Music as well.
semi-private performance, so which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to George and Dan in the review. And that's how we finished our last evening on board at the Limelight Club, which we'd never been before. So definitely an experience. We sadly though have to disembark tomorrow, and we have been given the time of
9:25 AM.
which I don't think is that bad, but we still have to be out of cabins at 8 AM still, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's annoying for us because yeah, the alarm's going to have to go off at 5 to 8 and we're going to have to rush to get out. It's going to be like Home Alone when they leave to go to the airport.
Yeah.
Absolute mess. It's been definitely an interesting evening.
So the Wi-Fi on board, once you get onto the P&O kind of landing page on their app, there's some prices for Wi-Fi and it is very, very expensive. I believe at the start of this cruise it was over £100 for Wi-Fi for the 7 days, whereas £18 per day or per 24 hours for the Wi-Fi package. So you have put the picture in now of all the prices when we first got on and I did have a look at it.
And it's the end of our 7-night cruise with P&O around the Christmas markets of Europe. So we're going to give you some ratings for some key areas just to kind of summarise what we've experienced. So first of all was food. What we're giving it out of 5.
So we're going to give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
So there's some hits that we've had, which is Epicurean. Epicurean was really nice. There was a lot of staff in there as well. The service just flowed. The food was great. Yeah, and I just loved it. It was probably the best kind of evening of food we had on board the ship. Obviously, we did have to pay an additional price for that too.
Unfortunately, the buffet continues to be poor, with the food quality going downhill from when we first came onto P&O. It wasn't too bad, but it's gone downhill a lot, so that's unfortunate. The MDR, I think they were good. You could tell that there was reduced staffing in there, and so a lot of the waiters and other staff are under a lot of pressure, which is a shame. So hopefully they do get that, the staffing levels levelled out.
There are some times where you're waiting for a drink and it's taking ages.
Yeah.
Drinks. They just simply haven't got the staff to go, and it's not their fault.
It's definitely not their fault.
They're trying the best they can under the circumstances.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Next one, we've got entertainment. We rated entertainment 3 out of 5. Why did we do that?
So, it's mainly because of the having to reserve the 7:10, for example. Even in the Horizon guide, it says just turn up. It's first come, first serve. But it's not. You do have to book in advance, and by the time we got on the ship, it had sold out for the week. It's a very small venue there. Centre Stage was good, wasn't it? The musical one, we did enjoy that.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Good show.
And the singing was quite good as well, and so was Pulse. And again, we were very impressed with the singers in Pulse.
Another big negative is still the Sky Dome. They, need to stop putting musical acts in the Sky Dome because it really hurts the show. So there was a particular night where the Voxens were on, but in the clubhouse there was a comedian. Why they couldn't switch venues, I don't know, because the clubhouse would have a much more appropriate sound system than the Sky Dome, and I feel that a comedian in the Sky Dome would actually probably be quite good. So an easy switch to make, which would solve a problem. But yeah, overall, I think P&O need to stop putting music acts in the Sky Dome.
And we're saying this as well, because when we do release our Fjords vlog, we said very similar when there was a Dolly Parton act in there back in August. And again, she sounded excellent, but the sound system couldn't handle it. And it was just loud noise that was all echoing. It reminds me, because there's a pool in there, you know when you go to a pool when you're a kid and parents all clapping and you get that echoey effect? It's that. It's basically, it reminds you of like a leisure centre kind of noise. So what would you give the ship out of 5?
So we've given the ship 4 out of 5. It is a good ship. It's really modern. There's lots of things to do. There's various entertainment venues on board, lots of restaurants. The buffet lets it down, but there is the quays as well, so you do have options of that. There's lots of outdoor pools, there's lots of mini pools, but the amount of people on this cruise and the amount of seats available and chairs in venues has been an issue. So there's been times when we've gone to the clubhouse, you cannot find a seat anywhere. The sea days, the atrium is just rammed, like you cannot find a seat. And yeah, there's been times where, the theatre has been sold out for one evening and we haven't been able to get in and so on. So yeah, they need to sort out some of the capacity issues or put some more tables in for particularly ones where they know that they're near capacity, like this one.
Yeah, and especially when you think of like the facilities with the bingo, putting that in Brody's, and it couldn't handle the capacity of people who wanted to do bingo. They should have moved that from the clubhouse, because people were standing there dabbing, like standing up in like the middle of the walkways. There just wasn't enough seats.
It's like the Sky Dome issue. They've got the facility to put the act somewhere better. They've got the facility to do the bingo somewhere better, but they haven't really thought about that. So yeah, free advice there, Itinerary.
So we've been a little bit harsh with this one, but we've given it a 2 out of 5. So this cruise is advertised as a Christmas markets cruise, and although yes, you are going into Northern Europe, and it is Christmassy because it's cold, the first stop is Hamburg. Now Hamburg is really Christmassy. There's Christmas markets everywhere. The ship itself is kind of themed as Christmas music playing outside. You've got Christmas menus in the restaurants and things like that on one night. But we had an overnight in Rotterdam. Now when we were speaking to people on board, they said because of they celebrate Christmas earlier than the 25th of December, so it's not very Christmassy, so they don't have the Christmas markets that Hamburg does. So I do wish we had our overnight in Hamburg, where it would have been more Christmas themed and a bit more festive compared to Rotterdam. And then this port as well, you have to get transport into Bruges, which I know is a landlocked area. This is the port for it. But yeah, you have to pay additional for that as well, don't you?
Yeah, and I think interestingly, this cruise is repeating in 2023, cruise G339. It's exactly the same itinerary, but it is no longer called a Christmas market cruise. It's actually a food hero cruise now. So yeah, I think they've realised that and sorted the name of the cruise. I would say though, if there was a cruise that every stop there was a Christmas market. Probably more likely to get one on a river cruise. I would love to do that because if they're all similar to Hamburg, I think that'd be amazing.
I know this is me just wishful thinking, but I'd loved it to have gone to Oslo, Hamburg, and then maybe here.
Yeah,
Copenhagen, yeah, because they're just beautiful places.
Yeah.
So what was our top negative for this cruise?
Unfortunately, it's the understaffing still. So this is in no way negative towards the staff that are on the ship. It's purely that, you know, there's apparently 800 staff still down. They're all having to do more work, and you can tell that they're quite strained, unfortunately. Like, they're very busy. You know, you've got a waiter doing all of the work that they would share with a junior waiter and so on in the restaurant. And it is, unfortunately, you do feel it and see it sometimes. So that really needs to be sorted out. And I know that it's a global thing, but yeah, hopefully that will start heading in the right direction soon.
Even when it comes to drinks, when we went on Royal Caribbean, they were very quick with the drinks, but here we've heard people moaning in the atrium that they can't get a drink, so they go up to the bar, then they're told at the bar to sit down, someone will come over, and there's just not enough staff to handle all the people in the atrium. And even the clubhouse last night or the other night, sat there for ages just waiting for someone to come over, because we just feel bad for them, don't we?
Yeah.
There's a lot that they have to do and a lot of passengers to look after as well.
Yeah. And you know, there's also a lot of options out there that P&O could go down that wouldn't involve getting extra staff. You know, you could go down ordering drinks on the app to your table number and so on, and using technology to help you out. So yeah, the My Holiday app is still, it's quite old really in what it can do compared to say like Princess or even Anthem. Anthem's was a lot better. Like, you know, you didn't have to log on to, you know, the ship Wi-Fi and do what airplane mode and all that. Yeah. So yeah, P&O, you need to look into a better app and, you know, possibly use an ordering system for your drinks, because it would help so much.
Even in the buffet area and in the quays, they have a Pepsi stand where you can scan your cruise card, and if you've got, well, I assume you've got a drinks package, it will dispense Pepsi for you. However, they've all turned off, and they have been since COVID. So our very first cruise on P&O, it was turned off. They're still turned off now, so you can't just help yourself to drinks.
That would solve a lot of issues.
And on Royal Caribbean, where you have the freestyle machines, there were less people waiting for drinks because people with soft drinks could just go and get theirs. So yeah, that would help a lot.
What's your top positive of this cruise?
So the top things on this cruise is there's still quite a lot to do on board this ship. So even though it might sound like we have been really negative, there are still lots of shops on board. There's like, you've got your two main kind of corridors of shops as well as the interconnecting ones as well. So there's plenty to look around in the shops area. On these kind of port days where we haven't got off the ship's very quiet. A lot of bars are still open, so Crow's Nest is still open. Everything's still available and open to do. There are plenty of restaurants, even though yes, you do need to book on the app. And entertainment, there has been enough on board to kind of satisfy you, and if not, there's plenty on the TV to watch to kind of keep you occupied. And there's always something to do in the horizon, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. You also say about shops, another tip that we can give you is if you want P&O merch, wait until there's a sale, because they always have a 25% sale. Every P&O cruise we've had, they've always had one, and it's normally near the end of the cruise. So watch out for that, it's normally in the horizon. They normally do sales on fragrances and cosmetics, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Buy one, get the second half price. There was 25% off selected fragrances last night. So there's always deals to be had. So don't get on board, buy your duty free straight away. There might be deals coming up. So overall, we had to give this cruise a rating. So this is for everything, the itinerary, cabin, food, drinks, everything. And we decided to give it
3 out of 5.
That's primarily for the reasons we've already said. So the lack of Christmas markets on the cruise, the busyness of the cruise as well was an issue for us at points around finding tables, the longer waiting times, which could easily be resolved. The food quality, although lacking, was excellent in other places. So it was a right mixture. And there are visible cost-cutting examples across the ship,
from the water in the room to just like the quality of some of the meats that are available. You can really tell.
So we do hope you have enjoyed watching this review vlog. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button just down below. You can also scan the QR code which is going to pop up on your screen very shortly, which will take you to our website, which will have all the menus as well as some different information about Iona. We do hope you have a great Christmas and we'll see you soon.